Hello everybody. Here another video. I'm trying to. Why am I here? Why am I with all these speakers right now? Well, originally I have these hd45 hd45 They're 15-inch speakers. They're pretty expensive and pretty loud. hd45s. But then I feel like they're a little too loud for small spaces. The sound is not very defined. It doesn't sound like high definition. It sounds more like an older technology. I mean, they sound good, especially for like open space, large auditoriums. This is ideal for what you pay in, and the small compact. You get a lot of decibels. You will fill a room with this. They will hear you all the way to the back, and that's what they do. I think these are for reinforcing uh, concerts on the side fields. They use raw power. They get so loud, not getting distorted. Well, they get really loud. I mean, it gets to a point they get distorted, but especially for long distance. Yeah. But it's like raw power. It doesn't sound so much high definition sound. Plus, it gets a little too aggressive, the horn, for like small spaces. You can still do it. I done it, and anybody can do it. But I'm a little picky on the sound. So the problem is the horn too loud. It's a little aggressive. Mainly, it's very heavy to get on top of the tripod. This is almost 44 pounds, 50 pounds, I believe. Plus, it's a little bit more bulky than a 12-inch. It's definitely the lightest that you can find, probably in a 15-inch and this type of volume, this type of loudness. Because I used to have the SRS A15, and it's about 10 pounds heavier. That's almost impossible to get it on tripod. I recently got a shoulder surgery. I should not even be trying to lift those things, but I'm still doing it. So I said I want something more like a tight bass, more defined sound. So I said I'm gonna go with a 12-inch, which I already have over here. This is the hd12. hd12s. It's right there. hd12s. They're good. They're warhorse little speakers. The bass is pretty good. They're durable. Nothing fancy about it. You can probably just throw them in. But the tweeter, it sounds pretty good. I would say probably this one sounds better than this one. The 912A. This is the newest one, 912A. mk5. Well, the latest, because it's a 900. It's a 900 model. This is a more sweet sound, high definition, but not a lot of low end. This one has a little bit more low end, and the vocals. There's a separation between the vocals and the highs. The vocals come out a little bit better here. This one, it's more like a high definition, more pure sound. I've been listening to them for like the last 2 hours, comparing them, which one, how they sound. And when I listened to it, it sounded pretty good. And I said, this is a go. Because this one, it sounds more high definition, so I liked this one more than this one. It's more clarity. I say, I'm gonna sell these and I'm gonna buy these. But now I'm trying to minimize my workload, and I usually carry those 708 RCF. They're okay for the weight. They kind of limit a little too early. I mean, this one basically you have to run them on with the red light, otherwise you don't get sound out of it. They hardly ever get hot, even if you run them red. I done it. So it was the lightest 18-inch that I found, so that's why I got them. But now I was at Guitar Center, and I found this little bad boy right here, the ks112. This is a main cave. It's so much mess here, so much. I'm a victim of American consumerism. Like, we buy so much crap that we don't need, but that's how I entertain myself, basically. I found this little boy, you look at it and it kind of makes you laugh. Like, this is for like a living room. You're like, well, this little thing. I've been looking at this thing for many years. I probably never give it a lesson. But then pair with another 12-inch. This is a ks. I'll get to this in a little bit. It's not the greatest bass. It doesn't go very low. But basically, what it does, you add these to a 12-inch, and it's like you add asteroids like it basically fills the whole 12, because normally we don't DJ just 212s. We want some subs, and we always think about, let's go with the 18-inch because it's a 12-inch. Yes, that's good, but for a small room, that's too much. People don't like it. So now this is doing the work of the 12-inch woofer. It's taking a lot of load of the 12-inch, and it complements each other. It doesn't look the best where I have it flat right now. You can put it upright. There has two ways to do it. Either like that flat. I think it gets a little bit lower frequencies like that. Or you can use it on the top. It's not the greatest bass, but it is enough for especially small rooms. It stays probably, it goes down to the 40, 45s probably, hertz as far as sound. But it's enough. That's kind of like the frequencies that makes the music for most of the music you play. So it sounds loud. It doesn't sound deep. Probably for a small room, you can probably do hip hop music with these. So this is 60 pounds. I can lift it myself. And it already comes with the wheels. They're quiet. They don't interrupt with the sound. they're already installed as when you pull it out of the box. And I even use this as a dolly for carrying my 12. I already use it at 2 gigs. I mean, it gets loud. I guess because it focuses more like in the 80 hertz bass, so it sounds loud. And you use it with the 12, they complement each other. Because this one already has a good bass, so they're working together. I mean, you're not gonna do probably 300 people with a pair of these. I mean, you can just focus on the dance floor area, and it's only like 100 people maximum dancing. I mean, you can still do it. It's only 50. I mean, it's 300 people waiting, but only 50 people are dancing. I mean, this is good. It all depends. But I always thought the ks112 that 2, it sounded a little harsh. But I don't know if I'm going deaf or something. I'm not hearing the high frequencies as good. So now this I'm liking this speaker a lot. So why am I doing this video? What's the point of this video? The point of this video is give QSC a round of applause because they're good. I guess I didn't want to go with what everybody says. Everybody picks the K12s and they always say it's the best. And not necessarily it's the best, but for what the price is, the size, you know, it's good. Like for if you only want to have like really a lot of volume and a relative compact speaker, you go with these. If you play a lot of outdoors for 200 people, you only want to carry 2. But if it's only like somebody doing a speech, this is great. 2 of these, I mean, you can do 300, 400 people only doing speech. Maybe not that one. So here's the story. So I was so sure I was going to buy these 912s because I had kind of like a bad experiences with these. I felt like they get a little honk and they're a little too bright. And I said, you know what, I don't like these, but I like these bass. So I tried it on a gig, that one and these. And it sounded good. But I kind of feel like they were a little bit out of time. Like they were not completely working together, the speakers. So I kind of was messing with the delay to align it because it sounded good, but it felt like it was 2 different speakers working. That one, the RCF, and that. They still sounded good. Then I was reading the manual, and it says the K10 or the K12, they will align in time with these if you get a QSC2. So I said, well, maybe that's what I need. So I went and bought the K12, put it together, and they sound uniform. They sound complete. They feel more aligned in sound. Before these sounded a little behind, and then I'll hear the top speaker. I guess that's the bad thing when you go with different manufacturers. I guess they kind of make it work together. So I wasn't so thrilled about getting a K12 and I spent probably like 2 hours at Guitar Center comparing that one and this one. And this only has a little bit more low end than the RCF. It's more musical. It's more I guess they bring the sound like it was recorded. So it's not a perfect speaker, but I'm trying to go small, and I haven't found a 12-inch that goes very loud. It's not crazy loud for what a 12-inch is. I guess it's the design, the band pass. It was what it's called, the band pass type of style. It kind of duplicate. Basically, it does. It does what the basically. It makes a speaker sound louder than it is with a band pass. The problem with the band pass is the throw is very short. You're not gonna get long distance with the band pass. That's the bad thing. Then the regular, just your regular speaker, where the 18 inches facing forward. Now a lot of people they say, "Oh, why you didn't go with the double 12?" This is a single 12. I'm sorry. Well, the reason one is the weight. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you what the pros are of these 12-inch speaker. Is it's a single 12-inch, but technically it has more room. The speaker, it has more room than the other one. The other one is probably 10% less for each speaker, because even though it's bigger box, they're sharing the box. So technically, even on paper, this one shows that it goes a little bit deeper. And the other reason, I think it's 82 pounds, and this is 63 pounds. And it's like a rectangular shape, so it's a little bit awkward situation. The pros of the other one, it has that cardioid, so supposedly 15 dBs gets canceled behind the speaker, which is really good when you're behind it. But I was thinking, if I'm gonna go with the double 12 and carry 88 pounds, why don't I just go back to these 82 pounds speakers? They go lower, and even though the other one, it's a double 12, the frequency doesn't go very low. It goes as low as this one, probably like 45, 50, but they focus probably on the 80 hertz. This one, it can probably easily go 35, 40. Not very deep, but so you know what? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to limit my weight. I'd rather buy 2 of these than buy the double one over there. So worst case, I'd rather buy 4 than having 2 doubles. I know I'm gonna get a lot of sound from behind, but I believe this one you can do cardio too. You just have to flip it over facing backwards, and that becomes cardioid too. So I want to be able to carry it myself, lift it from my van down without any help. So 62 pounds, it's kind of like the ideal, especially for small rooms. It feels the rooms pretty. Yeah, I did a little 80 people party only with one and 2 tops, 2 12s. and it sounded pretty good. I mean, there was like probably 15 people at the time dancing, but I filled the room enough where people in the back they can still have a little of a conversation. But with the 18, you're rattling the whole room, and people will start leaving. The young people they want to dance, but the older people they still want to have a conversation. So this the bass is staying in the floor, and it didn't travel very far. And after the COVID, a lot of people they're not doing a lot of big weddings. Some people are, depending on the area. But here in LA area, I mean, they're doing 80 people, 50 people weddings. They doing 150 graduation parties. But weddings and like in a nice place, it's only going like probably 120, 100 people, 80. The normal, I think between 80 to 100. 100 is kind of like on the high. Because everything is getting expensive too. They're charging like $95 per plate to the couple. So think about it if you want to do 200 people. So, and it depends. For me, sometimes I have to travel very far, so I was thinking probably taking my little small car and taking these, because now people are more price conscious. So why am I gonna take these, kill my back, and that almost 50 pounds trying to get it high enough in a tripod is pretty hard. So when I'm doing Saturday and Sunday, after carrying that and that, and that's why I'm getting rid of these two. This is for my Flex 10, even though it has wheels. Once you put your microphone, your wires and all that stuff, I mean, it's nice because you have everything in there, all the wires, for even I had like a Bluetooth device. I have my microphones there and everything, my power for the laptop, my power for the controller, extra XLR for it's still, by the time you add that in, I think it was like 65 pounds. It was probably 78, I don't know, 68 probably pounds. But it's like an awkward shape, so you're trying to get that on top of the. I would say probably was 70 pounds because it feels heavier than this. I said, you know what? Nah. I just bought a soft bag. I know it takes a little bit longer to connect all the wires and everything, but that's 30 pounds. That's maximum 25 pounds. That's the bag right there. So going back to a lot of people that are doing trying to go with the micro system, and they have a micro system, and they have a large for large parties. I don't think I do. I don't stay that busy where I have a couple DJs working for me. It's just myself. It's kind of like a hobby, you can say. But I mean, I do charge money. It covers my, my bills for the drive and everything. And it makes enough money to make it worth. But it's hard to keep up with all this money that I'm spending, and then by the time you resell things, a lot of times you lose money. most of the time, and it's hard to sell stuff. People, they want the newest, and if they're gonna buy a used, they want it probably 40-30% of what you pay. But anyways, my point is the information I want to share with you guys. Uh, give a little bit of respect. I mean, everybody respects these K-12. So far, it sounds good here. Maybe when you take it to the actual gig, then you realize, what is lacking. But so far, I think this is a good setup. Probably two of these for up to 150 people. This is this one probably puts you around the $2,000, and it's gonna get louder than the hd50. This is a better option. Doesn't look the prettiest. It doesn't come with white, but I don't do very fancy weddings. And if I decide to do even a very small gathering, I can just take these. And so I think this, as far as sound, this I think is a better option for me compared to the Ball 50. This is at least 30% louder, even though the other one is a 15. When you couple these together, it's basically two 12s. They sound louder than the 15. So I was thinking, maybe down the road, if I start doing bigger places, I can buy a third one or a fourth setup like this. So I think it becomes better. It becomes like a modular system where you can, if you want, you can add those two of these and one of these, or you can just take two of the tops and none of these, or you can take two of these and one of these. So it's a compact where it's like a Lego. You can play with, if you want a lot of bass, let's say you're doing a hip hop party, you take three of these. But everything comes down to around the 60 pounds. Technically, you're not supposed to be carrying more than 80 pounds on your back. And when you go in above your head, ideally you don't want to go over 40 pounds, because this one you carry over basically your shoulder. But that's just kind of my opinion. New stuff is coming out, but I think the new thing, everybody's trying to go smaller. They're trying to reduce their workload, and they say economy, it's kind of slowing down a little bit. So I was thinking, I want to stay competitive, but I don't want to kill myself. So if they're trying to lower a little bit the prices, well, I give them a little bit less sound, but it still sounds good. I'm just not giving them extra of what they need. That's one of the ways to see it. The other ways to see it, it's you want a comfortable sounding system for the location. If you're doing a small room, you don't want to kill their ears. You don't want to basically make them uncomfortable because it's too loud. And it's happening to me It's happened to me a lot with these when they're telling me, hey, it's too loud. And when they say it's too loud, not necessarily saying, oh, it's like you have such a good system. If the high frequencies are too hot, too loud, it's going to annoy the people. You can have two of these in one of these, and people will like the sound because people like they like the bass better. But if you have three of these and one of these, people will tell you, hey, you know what, this is too loud. But basically, what they're telling you is uncomfortable your sound because the high frequencies are the loudest. I have DJ with two of these and one of these. Never get a complaint. Outdoors, obviously outdoors. So the hardest to replicate is the low end, and then is the most expensive, and the heaviest. Trying to take bass to your parties, it's expensive and it's heavy because physically, no matter what you do, no matter what speaker it is, it's hard to replicate low frequencies with a small box like this. So far, I like how these sound. I would like to guys show you how it sounds, the bottom and the top together. But more likely, you're not going to be able to really appreciate the sound. So recap: the American USA won on this type of contest. I'm not saying this is perfect. It all depends on what you like. These are war horses right here. These things, they never break. They're well made. You've seen these uh, amplifiers hitting the sun directly, and they never get hot. So don't get me wrong, the RCF is bad. It doesn't have a fan, so less things to break. With the QSC, if the fan fails, it's gonna get hot. You might probably damage the speaker. I don't know how long a fan will last.